Sharp rock fragments whizzed past Bill's head, scattering into smaller pieces as they hit the stone wall. The air was full of smoke, and the sound of gunfire echoed throughout the rooms. Outside the small porthole windows, a U.S. Army detachment was scattered about, firing at the fortress from the safety of boulders. The situation was dire, and Bill was struggling to form a plan as he heard George cry out. One of his best fighters had just taken a bullet in the shoulder. Coe was able to maintain a sense of composure in the midst of the battle, thanks partly to his time spent in the Union Army during the Great Rebellion. He was an outlaw and former soldier, and he was battle-hardened. Being in the midst of the gun battle was nothing new to him. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know who your favorite outlaw is in the comments. William Coe, sometimes called Captain, arrived in the Oklahoma Panhandle in about 1864, probably around 22 years old. He settled in an area at the time was referred to as No Man's Land. The dusty strip of red Oklahoma dirt, measuring some 35 miles wide and 168 miles long, was not included in any state, and therefore left without any law or order. For years it was a haven for outlaws, a particular fact which suited William Coe just fine. The landscape was much different than his childhood home in the rolling forest hills of Pennsylvania, watching his daddy preach every Sunday morning at the local Baptist church. Located strategically on a long, high ridge jutting southwest from a large mesa near the town of Kenton, Oklahoma, Coe built a fortress to protect himself and his gang of some 30 to 50 members, who primarily rustled cattle, horses, sheep, and mules. As a younger man, Coe worked many odd jobs, mostly construction and building. Drawing from his knowledge and talent as a stonemason and carpenter, he slowly constructed a headquarters, consisting of rock walls some 3 feet thick, multiple rooms, and even sporting portholes for protection rather than windows, as well as a fully stocked bar, living quarters, and a number of soiled doves for entertainment. His fortress became known simply as Robbers Roost. For several years, Captain Coe's men earned their livelihood raiding ranches and military installations, attacking in the dead of night, and taking off with various types of livestock. No Man's Land was conveniently situated smack dab in the middle of several cattle drive trails, and the gang was able to cover a wide area, visiting towns like Dodge City, Abilene, Denver, and Las Vegas, New Mexico. They also preyed on freight caravans traveling along the Santa Fe Trail, as well as area ranches. After each daring raid, the men hid the stock in a narrow slot canyon, some 5 miles northwest of their hideout. Eventually, the rustlers built a fully equipped blacksmith shop, which contained all the tools necessary to maintain the herds, as well as changing the brands. When all hints of the previous owners were removed, the desperado cowboys then moved the herds into Missouri or Kansas to sell. Though they had been successful raiding ranches and rebranding for several years, the gang made a major mistake when they raided a large sheep ranch in Las Vegas, New Mexico in 1867. Killing 2 cowhands before driving the stolen herd to Pueblo, Colorado. Despite the fact that the gang was gaining notoriety, these murders put Coe and his men on the wanted list like never before, and soon, the U.S. Army from Fort Lyon, Colorado, were dispatched to capture the gang, dead or alive. The stage was set for battle, and the army attacked Coe's Robbers Roost fortress with a group of infantry, including a cannon, crumbling the walls, and killing and wounding several of the outlaws. Though Coe and others were able to escape, several outlaws that weren't killed in the battle were hanged on the spot, while others were arrested and taken back to Colorado. Now on the run, and wanted in multiple jurisdictions, Coe maintained his lawless ways and his freedom for about a year, hiding out in a small, now defunct settlement of Madison, New Mexico, near Folsom. However, while he was sleeping in a woman's bunkhouse, her 14-year-old son rode from the ranch and contacted area soldiers, who soon returned and arrested Coe. The fugitive was then taken to Pueblo to await trial, and along the way allegedly said, "I never figured to be outgeneraled by a woman, a pony, and a boy." Before he could come to trial, vigilantes took matters into their own hands, and on the evening of July 20th, 1868, they forcibly removed him from the jail. They loaded him into a wagon and moved him to a cottonwood tree on the bank of Fountain Creek, where they lynched him while he was still handcuffed and shackled. The next day, his body was discovered and buried under the tree that he was hanged from. Years later, when a new road was being built in the vicinity of 4th Street in Pueblo, workers found the skeletal remains of what is believed to have been William Coe. However, Captain Coe's story isn't over yet. Rumors and legends abound of a lost treasure, with some tales speaking of $750,000 in Spanish gold coins, other stories suggesting hidden loot scattered anywhere around Robbers Roost, including Blacksmith Canyon, the Black Mesa, or in an area known as Flag Springs Arroyo. And to this day, none of Coe's treasure has ever been found, with most searches dedicated to the Robbers Roost area. Thanks for watching. Be sure to show that support by hitting the subscribe button, liking the video, and letting me know what you thought down in the comments. Thank you.